So I had my own struggles of living in a patriarchal world. मुझे लगता है एनजीओ सेक्टर में या सोशल इम्पैक्ट सेक्टर में बिना पैशन के, बिना ड्राइव के आप काम नहीं कर सकते हैं. हम एक औरत को एज अ डॉटर, वाइफ, रोल्स में देख रहे हैं. एक वुमेन, एक औरत, एक इंडिविजुअल की तरह नहीं देख रहे हैं. पंख गिव्स मीन्स फ्रीडम, पॉसिबिलिटी, and Rise is growth going upward. We are doing it through our flagship program, which is Girl Power Project, and especially we work with adolescent girls. We were doing this workshop with the girls and we used to ask them, what is it that really drives you? कि एक बच्ची उठी और उसने पूछा कि मैम आप मुझसे तो पूछ रही हैं दीदी, आपको क्या ड्राइव करता है? वो सिस्टम है जो पेट्रियार्की के नॉर्म्स हैं वो क्या एकदम बदल जाएं एक साल के अंदर. It doesn't happen like that. So I don't think that programs fail. I think we somewhere failed because we don't have that patience. Boys and men are also suffering because of patriarchy. कि community led है. But अगर आप इस approach से चलते हैं, slowly it becomes a community led organization. Then also the game changes. Yeah. I remember when we went to these villages और जब हम कोएड स्कूल में ये प्रोग्राम करते थे तो बॉयज बोलते थे अरे लड़कियों का कुछ काम, लड़कियों के लिए कुछ करने आए हैं.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Badlav Unplugged, Conversations That Inspire. This series is brought to you by Global Changemakers Collective and Connecting Dreams Foundation. I'm your host Namrata Gogoi and this is the podcast where we bring to you stories of leaders and changemakers in the space of social impact. Today we're going to talk about gender agency and what does agency truly mean in a context where girls have to navigate systemic barriers of poverty, patriarchy and social control. Joining me in today's conversation is Pankhuri Sehgal. Pankhuri is the founding director of Monk Rise Foundation and the country director of the Girl Power Project. Through her work, she has been working to advance gender equity for girls in vulnerable communities in India. Welcome to the show, Pankhuri. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having me, Namrata.
At the very start, let's begin with your journey. What inspired you to take on this work? How did the Monk Rise Foundation and the Girl Power Project come to life?
To be really honest, I would say that we live in this patriarchal, unjust world and injustice inspired me. मतलब ये सुन के बहुत अजीब लग रहा होगा, but I just couldn't unsee it. And I was like कि whatever I'll do in my life, I would do something so that I can make this world a more, just place. मुझे लगता है एनजीओ सेक्टर में या सोशल इम्पैक्ट सेक्टर में बिना पैशन के, बिना ड्राइव के आप काम नहीं कर सकते हैं. और बिना कहीं ना कहीं शुरुआत वो एंगर से होती है कि मुझे बदलना है. यस, आई हैव टू चेंज दिस. आई वाज बोर्न इन मेरठ, यूपी, जो कि विमेन एम्पावरमेंट इंडेक्स पे 28th नंबर पे आती है. तो आई हैड माई ओन स्ट्रगल्स ऑफ लिविंग इन अ पेट्रियार्कल वर्ल्ड. मैं सवाल बहुत पूछती थी. मेरा चाइल्डहुड में आई वुडंट से आई वाज एन इजी गर्ल. गुड डॉटर, गुड गर्ल सिंड्रोम से मुझे बहुत प्रॉब्लम थी. सवाल बहुत पूछती थी और मुझे याद है कि जब आई वाज 13-14 years, नॉट दैट ओल्ड ऑल्सो, एक मूवी आई थी अस्तित्व करके. बट उस मूवी को देखने के बाद मुझे अच्छे से वो पॉइंट याद है. अ शिफ्ट हैपन टू मी एज इफ मुझे बहुत समय से जो मेरे अंदर क्वेश्चंस चल रहे थे ना, बचकाने क्वेश्चंस जो मैं पूछती थी या जो भी मैं देख रही थी और इंटरनलाइज कर रही थी और लड़ रही थी उससे, मुझे उसका कहीं ना कहीं जवाब मिला. कि हम एक औरत को एज अ डॉटर, वाइफ, रोल्स में देख रहे हैं. एक वुमेन, एक औरत, एक इंडिविजुअल की तरह नहीं देख रहे हैं. एंड बैक देन, अभी तो आई एम ग्लैड कि ये नैरेटिव है सोशल मीडिया पे हर जगह. उस टाइम पे 20 साल पहले नहीं था इस तरीके से. बट मूवीज़ देखने का मुझे बहुत शौक़ है. तो मैं इस तरीके की मूवीज़ जब देखती थी, फिर मैंने इंग्लिश ऑनर्स में एडमिशन लिया एंड आई वाज रीडिंग अ लॉट ऑफ फेमिनिस्ट लिटरेचर, टोनी मॉरिसन और वर्जीनिया वुल्फ, और वहीं से मुझे समझ में आ गया कि नहीं, मुझे अब काम करना है। और तब पता नहीं था कि डेवलपमेंट सेक्टर भी कोई होता है कुछ। तो वहाँ से जर्नी शुरू हुई एंड आई वाज वेरी क्लियर दैट आई हैव टू लाइक वर्क इन द डेवलपमेंट सेक्टर। और धीरे धीरे आई वर्कड इन अ कपल ऑफ NGOs एंड प्रोजेक्ट्स एंड मेरी जो फर्स्ट जॉब थी, इनफैक्ट फर्स्ट इनिशिएटिव जो मैंने ग्राउंड पे किया था वो कनेक्टिंग ड्रीम्स के साथ किया था। That was a huge inspiration because जो भी theoretically I have read and what all was in my mind, I could actually apply it on the ground and see where I was right and wrong, and how things play out on the ground in the communities. So that was a good learning experience for me right in the beginning of my career. और उस समय पे मुझे याद है हम यूपी के ही दूर दूर के क्या कहते हैं गाँव में, we were going deep into the hinterlands and working there, and we were curating entrepreneurial success stories from these rural people. So the program was majorly to bridge the divide between rural and urban India, and उसी दौरान मुझे समझ में आया कि there's a huge gap between potential and opportunity. Potential की कमी नहीं है, so we need to like bridge this gap. That was my first inspiration. Then I worked with denotified tribes, women who were trapped into intergenerational prostitution. So I worked with them and took up other as I went ahead in my career, always worked in the gender space. I took up some projects, independent projects also in Nepal and Bangladesh, and was working in developing programs which were advancing towards gender equality. And then my understanding was like we have to work on gender equity. So all this was happening, and Punk Rise happened because I felt the need to go back to my roots, to go back to Meerut, to go back to Uttar Pradesh and unlock the potential of the girls, because I saw it with my own eyes that if you bridge this gap of the potential and the opportunity, you can see leaders coming and thriving change, and that is what we need to create a better world.
That's very lovely to hear, Pankuri. It's also very heartwarming to know that CDF had an important role to play in how your journey shaped up. And very insightful points you brought across when you say that you need to bridge the gap between potential and opportunity. And also commendable, we always say that charity begins at home, change begins at home. So you've taken experiences that you've had not just in Delhi, NCR, not just in UP districts like Hapur and the other places that you were part of, but also in other countries like Nepal, and taking it back home and understanding how do I change the status quo back home from all the learnings that I've acquired across different geographies. Before we move ahead, tell us a little bit more about Punk Rise Foundation and the work that you do there.
As the name suggests, Punk Rise, Punk and Rise. Punk means freedom, possibility, and rise is growth, going upward. So our aim at Punk Rise is to give, or in fact facilitate, wings of young people to rise beyond poverty, beyond patriarchy and fear. And how we are doing it through our flagship program, which is Girl Power Project. And especially we work with adolescent girls, imparting them knowledge, skills, and the support they need so that they can continue their education, safeguard themselves from violence, and take informed decisions about their health, and also lead in their communities. We are very proud of the program because it's an evidence-based program. We have seen that it works. In fact, till now, around 10,000 girls have been impacted by this program. We have run this in Uganda before, and now we are doing it in India with 500 girls. Minimum for 2 years, a girl stays in this program. That is what we have been doing in Girl Power Project. And apart from this, after that 2-year journey, we have another program in Pankrais, which is the Future Rising, program, where these girls who are in the Girl Power program have gone through the program for 2 years, become mentors. We train them to become leaders, and in that we also provide them scholarships so that they can continue their education, and also with skills so that they are future ready. When we talk about making a change, it's like, Samaj, Sarkar, Bazaar, when we talk about this, is we all know who are working in this space. So how we can also, develop skills in them which are future ready, so that they can go out and, lead a dignified and an independent life and make informed choices for themselves.
A question that I have for you today is, we talk about meaningful agency. You've just talked about something along the lines of equality and equity and how that's different. Let's talk about agency. जब हम meaningful agency की बात करते हैं, what does it really look like for the girls that you're working with? These are girls from vulnerable contexts. These are adolescent girls who come from socioeconomic margins. उनके लिए day-to-day life में अगर हम meaningful agency के बारे में बात करते हैं, what does that look like for them?
एजेंसी का अगर हम हिंदी में अनुवाद करें, इसका मतलब होता है कि अपने डिसीजंस लेने की क्षमता. तो और वो क्षमता कैसे आती है? अगर आपके पास नॉलेज हो, आपके पास हिम्मत हो, कॉन्फिडेंस हो. सो in our program, through Girl Power Project, that is what we have been working specifically to build their agency. It's not just about the tools and the skills. It's really going deeper and making girls believe that you matter. तो वो L'Oreal का ad है ना, I'm worthy, I love it. Because actually that is, if you tap into that, true agency comes. And I've seen in the programs when I've run that we talk a lot about agency, we talk a lot about confidence, but it's actually tapping into that place and making these girls realize कि अगर तुम खुद को कुछ नहीं समझोगी तो कोई और तुम्हें कुछ नहीं समझेगा. So for example, now we work in a place called Kharkhoda, which is around 30 kilometers from Meerut, and we work in that community. So a lot of the girls who are now in our program, I see agency in them in a lot of ways. And one incident I want to share it with you. So we were doing this workshop with the girls, and we used to ask them, what is it that really drives you? मुझे इतनी हैरानी हुई कि एक बच्ची उठी और उसने पूछा कि मैम आप मुझसे तो पूछ रही हैं दीदी, आपको क्या ड्राइव करता है? So, and I realized, okay, so that is agency. That, okay, she's using her voice, she's using her, she believes that she is someone, she can ask the question. She's worthy to ask the question. So I feel that is what agency is, that you know that you matter and your voice matters.
You've talked about a brilliant example right now where you said कि आप जिन बच्चों के साथ काम करते हैं, उन्हीं में से एक ने during your program and during one of your sessions perhaps, she questioned you up front. And that itself is also a marker of confidence in the ability that I can also critique, I can also question back, I don't simply have to be a recipient. Any other story that comes to mind when I talk about agency on ground? Any other story that comes to mind from the experiences that you've had with the girls that you've worked with?
एजेंसी के बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल्स हम रोज़ देखते हैं. बिकॉज ऑफ आवर प्रोग्राम बहुत सारी बच्चियाँ जो कि क्या बोलते हैं कि शादी के उनको प्रेशर किया जाता है, या क्यों स्कूल जा रही हो, काम पे चली जाओ. बिकॉज द प्लेसेस दे आर कमिंग फ्रॉम, मोस्टली व्हाट वी हैव सीन इन आवर कम्युनिटीज़, द मेन आर नॉट वर्किंग एंड द वुमेन आर द वंस हु आर डूइंग एवरीथिंग. तो और सिबलिंग केयर में हैं या इस तरीके की चीज़ों में फंसी हुई हैं, और जैसे जैसे वो बड़ी होती हैं उनके ऊपर ज़्यादा प्रेशर आता है दैट यू हैव टू स्टेप अप एंड टेक मोर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज़. एंड दे हैव बीन फेड दैट ओके दिस इज़, you are doing great, the good girl syndrome. So after coming into our program, what change has happened is that they are now exercising their agency in a way that they are negotiating with their families or negotiating with their social system how we can, continue our education, how we can, when it comes to nutrition, for example, how we also deserve to have, even if there is a half a liter of milk, we also can have a little, gulp of, milk. So these little negotiations that they have started, that are a proof that they are exercising their agency. I remember one of this girl called Lakshmi. Her cousin sister was getting married. So, and she was just 15 years of age. So she took that call and she was like, she came to us, she told us, and then, usually when we work in our communities, in our schools, how we do it, that before bringing the Girlpa project, we also create an ecosystem where we have other stakeholders with us, so that whatever objectives we have, like, we want to stop child marriage or keep girls in school, so that these stakeholders, we all come together as a, in collaboration, and be of support to these girls who are leading this change in these communities. So we stopped, a girl getting married at the age of 15, but I would say it was her who was on the forefront,
Yes.
leading it. So, and that happened because she was exercising her agency.
Yeah, a change catalyst
Yes.
in a way, because
Yes.
she's the one who triggered the chain reaction.
Yeah.
And we talked about something very important right now. We talked about the importance of having all stakeholders come together and collaborate. A 15-year-old raising her own voice, saying that I don't want to get married. Get me help, but I am the one raising the voice and being aware that I am entitled to a better life. This is definitely a stark marker where we're talking about a girl from a vulnerable context exercising her agency. But let's be real. Status quo as it is, औरतों ने नहीं बनाई है. Women have not designed the status quo. It's been patriarchal for time immemorial. So when we talk about different gender equity advancement programs, it's not enough to just talk about हम औरतों की सहायता करेंगे by working with them, by teaching them self-defense, by making them people who will be able to speak up for themselves. It's important to also work with shapers of the status quo. And this is where I found your program very interesting, because you also talk about involving boys. And we're talking about involving boys beyond just being allies. So first off, I'd like you to tell our listeners, why is this important? Secondly, how does your program go about integrating the male perspective or integrating boys as shapers of change?
When we talk about patriarchy, although it's a social system which is leaning towards men and, keeping the control and power in their hands, but at the same time, it is also, I would say, hurting men as well, So there are so many examples around us where we see that even boys and men are also suffering because of patriarchy. Although it's majorly, women and girls who are, paying the price, the brunt of it. But if we want to have an inclusive, world where everyone is living with dignity and, with respect and being themselves, it's very important that we involve all the stakeholders. And that is why we realized it's not going to work fully if we are only working with the girls. So we said that we work with the adolescent girls, giving them tools, giving them, imparting them knowledge about gender, about, information and skills. In that age group, it's also important that we work with boys as well. So we also run a program, as we run, Girlpa Project. We also run a program which is Girlpa Project into Boys, wherein we go and, conduct workshops with boys so that they understand the true meaning of gender equality. I remember when we went to these villages, और जब हम कोएड स्कूल में ये प्रोग्राम करते थे तो बॉयज़ बोलते थे अरे लड़कियों का कुछ काम, लड़कियों के लिए कुछ करने आए हैं. And they used to think कि because you're also having, covering sexual and reproductive health, in that program, and they're like, अच्छा ये उसके लिए आए हैं. Initially when we were, when we started working with boys, they were not ready to accept the program. But slowly and gradually, when they realized, okay, why this is important for them, and then, threading why gender equality is needed, and seeing girls also as their equal counterparts. Uh, that's how we work in the communities with this program.
लड़कों के साथ अगर आप काम करोगे, they don't immediately change
Hmm.
perspectives that have been built by so many people around them for years, right? So कैसे करते हैं? How do you work on something as critical as shifting a mindset?
सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम ही अगर पूछे ना कि चैलेंज क्या है, जैसे हम अब मेरठ में काम कर रहे हैं, वहाँ कोई और एज सच NGO इस तरीके के ट्रांसफॉर्मेशनल प्रोग्राम पे काम नहीं कर रही है. तो वो माइंडसेट शिफ्ट ही सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है. वो कैसे आएगा? आई फील द कम्युनिटीज वी वर्क विद आर वेरी मार्जिनलाइज्ड. सो marginalized and everyone is marginalized, and in that there are layers. Obviously the women is more marginalized, or usme bhi if a woman is from a certain caste, then she's further more marginalized. If she's disabled, she's further more marginalized. So there are intersections to it. But in a way everyone is struggling in that community. Now if we want to really involve other stakeholders, like we want to involve men and boys also into it, तो मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ पेट्रियार्की तो उनको भी हार्म पहुंचा रही है. वहाँ पर भी पेन पॉइंट्स हैं. सो when we started working with the girls, we realized that just working with the girls, and that's how the program Girlpa project has been designed, that it just doesn't work with the girls, it involves other stakeholders as well. तो पहले साल हमने लड़कियों के साथ काम करा, दूसरे साल हमने वो जिसे कहते हैं ना एक ट्रस्ट बिल्ड करा, that we are here to help you all, like we are here to help build this community,
not just the girls.
Yeah. Together we'll be going up, together we'll be rising. पंखों की उड़ान सबके लिए है, पंख rise, that's why.
Yeah.
So, and then when we started working with the boys, I feel it's really important to first strike their pain points, and then from there threading it why gender equality is necessary, why it is required for all, and what will it lead to, how will we all together will rise, is through it.
Right. And you've talked about trust, you've talked about how that is important. Let's have a conversation that we were having before about how we want to change something जो इतना entrenched है, जो एक साल में नहीं हो सकता, right? And in there you have a certain funding structure, a certain expectation that नहीं, एक साल में हमें reporting चाहिए. You have to show these impact numbers at the end of the year, right? How do you navigate this? What's your take?
Empowerment is a term which is very loosely being used. So I'm very particular. In fact, when I'm sitting with donors or applying for grants, to really understand where they are coming from, and very clear with our internal organization objective that we will be working on the depth and not the breadth. तो अगर आप मिशन पूछें पंख राइज का, गर्लपा प्रोजेक्ट का, वी वर क्लियर कि हम 5 साल के लिए खरखौदा, मतलब हमने 2 साल जो था काम करा. वी when we started off in Meerut, we worked in 5 different locations depending upon geographies and demographies, and after that realized the most need is in one particular community. And we realized कि ऐसा नहीं है कि इसमें हम बस जाएं और हमें रिजल्ट्स मिल जाएंगे और ये 1 साल में रिजल्ट्स मिल जाएंगे. We know that we have to continue working into that community for at least 3 years or so to really start seeing the change. We have already seen a lot of great examples on the ground, and that in fact that is where जहाँ पर हमें ड्राइव मिलती है कि हम जो कर रहे हैं हम सही कर रहे हैं, बदलाव आ रहा है. और आई वुड से होप इज आवर डिसिप्लिन. मतलब दैट्स हाउ वी आर ट्रेडिंग फॉरवर्ड. बट अगेन कमिंग बैक टू अ क्वेश्चन, it's very important to work on the depth, not on the breadth. And if we are working and using the terms like empowerment, it definitely takes a commitment and some patience to actually happen it on the ground. You have to really go through that trajectory, and it's very difficult for me to make you understand or make someone understand how my girls or the girls who are in the program are exercising their एजेंसी, यू नो, बिकॉज उसका वो भी होता है ना, जब आपने शुरू में देखा और बाद में आप कैसे उसको देखोगे. एंड यू नो लॉट ऑफ टाइम्स इट्स लाइक फेलियर. आपने बोला था कि ये हुआ नहीं, फेलियर कैसे बोल सकते हैं आप?
Yes.
फेलियर तो टाइम फ्रेम से डिफाइन होता है ना. एक साल में 6 महीने में ये ऐसी हो जाए एकदम, हाउ इज दैट पॉसिबल?
6 महीने में नहीं होता.
या एक साल में प्रोग्राम
Yes.
का उतना यू नो इम्पैक्ट नहीं आया. आई वुडंट से द प्रोग्राम फेल्ड, यू नो, वो फ्रेमिंग, टाइम फ्रेम गलत था.
Yes.
कि वो एक साल में हम चाह रहे हैं कि जो 15 साल की या 20 साल की या जो इकोसिस्टम है, जो पेट्रियार्की के नॉर्म्स हैं, वो क्या एकदम बदल जाएं एक साल के अंदर. इट डजंट
That's not
हैपन लाइक दैट. सो आई डोंट थिंक दैट प्रोग्राम्स फेल. आई थिंक वी समवेयर फेल बिकॉज वी डोंट हैव दैट पेशेंस. हमारे कमिटमेंट में कहीं ना कहीं कमी है, या जो उसके आसपास का जिसे कहते हैं ना, आसपास की how to make it sustainable, all those questions. I think NGO sector को एक reframing चाहिए, अलग से सोचना पड़ेगा. We have come to that time and we have to start, you know, seeking funds for failure.
Yeah.
Because वो घूम फिर के वहाँ पर बात आ जाती है ना, how are we going to like sustain ourselves? तो उसको फटाफट एक साल के अंदर करके दिखाओ. तो जो हम करके दिखा रहे हैं वो तो फिर क्या कहते हैं, फिर वो बस एक नंबर गेम रह गया. या आपने सामने 3-4 लोग खड़े कर दिए एंड दे आर द, यू नो, बट इफ यू रियली वांट कम्युनिटीज टू चेंज, वी हैव टू हैव दैट, यू नो, ड्राइव एंड दैट पेशेंस एंड, यू नो, go into it if you are ready to serve the community, like if you're really passionate about it.
But how much agency does a social impact organization have? Because we're on the receiving end of this fund. And at the same time, a lot of times we say कि funds इतने limited हैं कि जिन organizations को collaborate करना चाहिए वो ही accidentally adversaries बन जाते हैं.
हाँ.
We're competing for the same funds. What say do you think we as social impact organizations have to change this broader structure? Because the capital lies somewhere else.
It's in the work that we are doing. हम agency की बात कर रहे हैं, हम leadership की बात कर रहे हैं.
Yes.
मतलब मैं जाके leadership की बात कर रही हूँ, you know, building leaders from these communities. Leadership is not, you know, how it's not about lecturing about leadership. You live it. I have to live it. And it may sound very, you know, bookish कि practicality तो नहीं है, but I have seen it for myself. That if I am clear, in our organization we are clear and we are leading with that, the, you know, person on the other end does get it.
Yeah.
If they are coming from that place that they really want to make a difference, so they do get it. So I think that you have to own it, you have to live it. That is the only answer I would say. And I don't budge when I feel that that the other, you know, donor is asking for something else which is out of integrity. Yeah, it's okay to work with a smaller group. It's okay to work with a smaller group and showcase the change, and maybe, you know, that will work as a blueprint for other communities and other organizations.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
In striving to scale, we must not lose resonance.
Yes.
Because depth is important.
Yes.
A program is only meaningful as long as the community owns it, identifies with it, feels that this is something meaningful and इससे कुछ तो बढ़िया हो रहा है.
Yeah, and also
Right.
the other side to it, what I am now seeing is then it becomes a community-led organization.
Yes.
वो अभी मैं नहीं बोलूँगी अभी, although I, you know, कि community-led है, but अगर आप इस approach से चलते हैं, slowly it becomes a community-led organization.
Yeah.
And then also the game changes.
Yeah. And that is what the goal of organizations
Yes.
in the non-profit space
Yes.
should be.
Yes.
We design our death.
Yes.
It's a part of the design because we cannot have ourselves become permanent superheroes in any story. कि हम अपनी एक्सपर्टीज के ऊपर इन कम्युनिटीज की डिपेंडेंस क्रिएट कर देंगे ताकि हम कल अगर निकल जाएं तो उनका जितना बेनिफिट हुआ था comes back to zero.
Right.
That cannot happen. So very important point. Community led organization बन जाता है as long as it is efficient and it's putting in the time and the effort. छोटे ग्रुप के साथ हम काम कर रहे हैं but we lead with a primacy in depth.
Yeah.
Right. Again, coming back to Pankaj Foundation and the work that you do, We were talking right now about usage of certain terms. We were talking about empowerment. Galat. We should not so loosely be using the word empowerment if that's not what we see in ground. Second thing, beneficiary. Yes, there's a tendency typically, हालांकि आजकल थोड़ी सी sensitivity ज़्यादा है, but we tend to look at people benefiting from a certain program as beneficiaries. What does Pankrise Foundation do to ensure कि जो girls हमारे साथ काम कर रहे हैं, जो community members हमारे साथ काम कर रहे हैं, they are not just beneficiaries, they are catalysts of change.
बेनिफिशियरी ऐसी एज बेचारी, इसको ये दे दो, ठीक है, इसको ये सिखा दो, इसको ये पढ़ा दो. एंड गर्लपा प्रोजेक्ट is actually being driven by the girls. That is the main aim. Like when we work in a community, the idea is that this community is it's like this project is more like a social vaccine. That's how I see it. You know, to inoculate girls so that they can safeguard themselves from gender-based, you know, violence or oppression. And it will only happen when they are not seen as beneficiaries but as equal, you know, partners into this. So they are the major stakeholders and not seen as becharis but as assets. So from beneficiary to assets, that change has to happen. And I have never, in our program, we are very clear that and refrain from using terms like beneficiaries.
We've talked about how change of this sort cannot easily be quantified. Yes. अगर हम एजेंसी जैसे किसी चीज़ की बात कर रहे हैं, then how do you quantify? No agency, ये हो रहा था, ये अब change हो गया है, right? But even then, to measure whether or not a program is efficiently or effectively being done, some monitoring and evaluation framework has to be there.
Yeah.
What are certain important markers that you keep in mind when you say कि okay, we're on the right track?
So one of the significant, you know, indicator that we have seen is the attendance. Just 3 months into the program, the attendance of the school goes up. And in fact, what I have seen previously also, that and the principals say that most of the times जब कभी हमें कुछ स्कूल में पूरी अटेंडेंस चाहिए होती है तो हम बोल देते हैं गर्लपा प्रोजेक्ट का आज you know प्रोग्राम है and all girls turn up. So that shows us that what we are doing is really working.
Yes.
And apart from that, you know, school maybe we see a shift. The teachers, the girls, it's like a mindset shift. वो एक धीरे-धीरे आने लगता है 6 months down the program. And that happens because we are regularly going there. We are regularly, you know, establishing that trust. We are regularly, you know, being with them, hand-holding them when they are exercising their agency. A lot of conversation starts to, you know, come up in the discussions
They
that
start
okay,
being more vulnerable
more
when they
being-
trust you and
yes.
feel more safe.
yes.
Yeah, so the content of conversations, the fact that they're so excited to be a part of the program is definitely an indicator that we're doing the right thing, we're going in the right direction, and children are liking it.
Yes, and obviously, I mean, we do have that whole process where we are taking the pre-survey and post-survey, and the results are there wherein we, you know, girls have no idea about like periods, you know, and how to manage themselves during it.
Yes.
And later on, after the program, we see that there is a, you know, a marked improvement on that, and also like we cover a lot of the portion where we talk about sexual and reproductive health because it's important. We talk about consent, and all these, you know, parameters are there. And on the pages when we do a quantitative, you know, survey, that's there. But what I would say is really like one has to feel is how the room energy shifts when we first enter with the program. We introduce the program, we start working with the girls, and 6 months down the line or 1 year down the line, that journey, if someone can see, they would really understand what we are doing on the ground.
Yes.
Someone has to witness that journey. कि हाँ, मेरी एक शिवानी जो कि एक नाट कम्युनिटी से लड़की है, जो कि नाट कम्युनिटी आर द वंस हु रियली लाइक गो ऑन दैट स्विंग और उस पर चलते हैं. आपने कई बार ही देखा होगा, ऑल्दो अब कम दिखने में मिलता होगा यहाँ पर, बट वो उस कम्युनिटी से बच्ची है. और जब वो हमारे प्रोग्राम में आई थी गर्लपा प्रोजेक्ट में, शी वॉज लाइक, ठीक है, timid girl, and now she is paying the fees of the school by herself. She work as a menial job भी वो करती है, वो अपने घर का पूरा ध्यान रखती है, and she is the only girl in her community who is coming 2 hours, वो 2 घंटे तो चलती है और फिर स्कूल पहुंचती है. तो वो जो एक शिफ्ट आया, और and her favorite subject is economics.
Yes.
So and she's been with us for more than 2 years now. So वो जब हमें पहली बार दिखी थी और जो वो अब है, तो अगर किसी ने उसकी जर्नी देखी होगी, so that is what drives us.
Yes.
कि ये काम तो कर रहा है और ये काम होना चाहिए, और मतलब that's why we are in this.
Yes, and this is also a marker of how likely a program is to sustain, or the impact of the program is going to sustain, because this is also creating aspirational figures. You're talking about someone who's the first in her community to have achieved this. तो वो भी किसी की दीदी है. She is also a member of a community. And when I see somebody like me doing all of this, that is an aspiration that I now have. So I think that's brilliant. There are many people who do have their intentions in the right place. हमें कुछ करना है. This is an issue that's very close to my heart, and I want to do something. Truth is, non-profit में अगर आप काम करते हो, more often than not, you're working in a resource-constrained space. So, in a resource-constrained setting, if you want to do something to advance the cause of gender equity, what would you say are certain blind spots जो कि लोगों को avoid करना चाहिए? या what would you say from your experience are certain fundamental principles जो लोगों को ध्यान में रखना चाहिए when they're trying to do something of this sort?
From my experience, I can say what I have learned on the ground is we really have to understand that we really start from listening. और ये गलती मेरे से भी हुई है, जब हम सोचते हैं कि अच्छा ये प्रॉब्लम है, इसका ये सोल्यूशन हो सकता है, और हम जाते हैं और इस सोल्यूशन को अप्लाई करते हैं. But what I have learned, and if I have to tell others from my experience, I would say that don't go with any preconceived notions on the ground. Start from listening. सीखो काम करके, learn by doing it, and most importantly कि you have to first build the trust before you start to lead. अगर आप ये 3-4 चीज़ों का, मुझे लगता है कि जो मैंने अप्लाई करी, and I have seen it, they worked. So that is my little advice that I can share from my experience.
Thank you very much for your insights, Pankhuri. It was a wonderful conversation. Key takeaways for us today were that before you lead any change on ground, you have to learn how to listen. Before you are sure that this is a solution that's going to work, you have to be sure that you have established trust in the community that you want to work with. With that, listeners, we've come to an end to today's conversation. If any of you are interested in learning more about the Pankrise Foundation or the Girl Power Project, links will be in the description. This is an organization that is very open to working with other collaborators, facilitating training, or even teaching you all more about how to advance gender equity in your own communities if you're interested. Once again, links in the description, guys. With that, we've come to an end to today's episode. I am Namrata Gogoi, your host, and you've been listening to Badlaav Unplugged, Conversations That Inspire.